Pies. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Days of Our Lives edition. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Today is August the 8th, 2022. It is a Monday. On a scale of 1 to 10, y'all know Days of Our Lives is always solid. I'm going to give it a 7. All right, y'all. So we see Lee and Gabby, and Gabby can't even, Lee is sitting there knocked out lying there, knocked out in the bed, but Gabby is up because hearing that Ava has moved into the DiMera mansion has rattled her, and she does not like it. She feels like Ava is going to double cross her. Lee wakes up. He tries to talk her down. He says, remember, you hold all the cards and everything, so don't even worry about it. Like, Ava has to do what you say, and if she doesn't, you can always let her know, I'm going to pull this, let everyone know that you're not really Jake's wife. And let's go ahead and move on. I'm not going to hold you long. So then we see Ava and EJ. So Ava has officially moved into the DiMera mansion. And she comes in and everything. And he says, where I can have Harold get the rest of your bag. She said, that's it. I travel light. And then, she's like, she's been in here before with John. He said, well, it wasn't John, like the real John or whatever. But anyway, so he tells her anything you need. You got the DiMera, welcome and services, and she says you're laying it on thick, EJ. And he tells her, I want you to be on my team. I want you to vote my way and we can get Gabby out. And she tells him, I don't know, that would be disloyal to Jake because he always backed Gabby. And he said, their relationship was weird based off of them liking each other or whatever. But now you don't have to do that. You don't have to back Gabby. Yes, she does, because Gabby is the one who came up with all this to allow Ava to have a place to stay in the DiMera mansion, as well as the dividends from Jake's shares. So yes, she's going to back Gabby. But the excuse she used was a good one. Anyways, he ends up going upstairs and putting Ava in the room that Abigail was murdered in, Abigail and Chad's room. And I said, excuse me, ma'am, if you don't want to stay in that room, like, who told EJ he runs the house? Go to another room. Talk to Tony, talk to Anna, talk to somebody else and tell them I'm not staying there. But let's move on, y'all, because y'all know I like me some Ava. Let's move on. So then we see Kristen and Rolf. And I said, Rolf, why you being so weird? Because Kristen was like, why are you acting like we can't wake him up? Like, go ahead and wake him up. And he was like, we got to make sure the heart doesn't reject and all that. I said, sir, at some point you wake somebody up after a transplant and everything. And she says, I better be able to trust you. You better not be double crossing me. And he said, no, I wouldn't do anything to Stefano's namesake and everything. I just want to keep him alive. And she said, all right. And then he starts saying, don't you gotta worry about Chloe and Basic Black and all that? She said, well, what you care about my love life for? When have you started caring? Sounds like you're trying to get rid of her to me, Rolf. And I said, what you up to, sir? But she does leave. So then we see Brady and Belle, and she tells him about how hard it was for Sean to give up his child but there was nothing she could do, and just how hard it was. And so he asked her, are they gonna get back together? And she doesn't know. She doesn't know what's going to end up happening between she and Sean. So let's move on. So then we see EJ goes downstairs and he sees Belle there, and he says, oh, I haven't seen you since our relationship ended. Well, since you ended things with me. Okay, first of all, sir, you're not gonna act like you didn't sleep with sleep with Belle and run right downstairs. It hadn't even been 5 minutes, and run right downstairs and beg her sister to be with you, and then try to come back inside and act like it was all good with Belle. Like, AJ, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're not finna act like that. But anyway, she's more gracious to him than I am, because she says this is just about work, it's business or whatever. I have some paperwork and all that. And she said, Jake didn't have a will or whatever, so it is what it is. But before that, he asked her, well, what's going on with you and Sean? And she said, she doesn't know if they're going to get back together, but she's going to focus on the business with EJ. So let's focus on the business. Sir, she already know. what her daddy said was true, what John said was true. You didn't want Belle, you just wanted to get back at Sammy. So then Ava comes down and everything, and she says, so if he doesn't have a will, what does that mean? And Belle said, it's all yours. You get the shares. And so she has some contract for Ava to sign, and then she says, so go ahead and here are your shares, keep them somewhere safe. And EJ gonna try to tell, and then Belle leaves, and EJ gonna try to tell Ava, I'll keep the shares for you in the Demira safe. She said, no, I'm gonna hold on to them. Boy, please, ain't nobody gonna give you their shares. Now, you know I like you, EJ, but dang, you are so desperate to be back in the position of running the company. So then we see Brady and Chloe. Y'all, I don't know what it is about them, but they're boring to me. I'm sorry. I know this y'all favorite, but they're boring to me. I don't even remember what they were talking about. Hold on now, I blacked out. Let me think. They were just talking about Kristen. They were talking about how Kristen wasn't at work because Chloe was there, and he said, I'm not gonna leave you at work alone to deal with Kristen. She was like, I already been, she wasn't there. And they just said, let's do a thing where we don't mention Kristen, and every time we say her name we'll kiss or whatever. I said, that's gross. What are you talking about? That's gross. And they kept saying Kristen kissing, Kristen kiss. I said, who wrote this? What made y'all think this was what made y'all think this was a good? Kristen would be the pineapple. Like when you don't want to do something, you would say Kristen. Like, who wrote this? Anyways, let's move on. So they chilling on whatever, and then they say, okay, let's go to work or whatever, and everything. And they, and they're like, okay, they open the door, and Miss Kristen is there, y'all. So let's move on. We see Jada and Sean, and they're hitting it off. They're really good. They're really good. You know how you meet somebody and y'all just like each other and you can chit chat and all that. That's what Jada and Sean are doing. And so she tells him her dad is Marcus. He was like, oh my gosh, I know Marcus. We used to go fishing and all that kind of stuff together. And he was a good man. When I was a little boy, he was friends with my dad and everything. And she was like, okay, cool. And he was like, I got pictures. You want to see him sometime? She was like, yeah. And so then they talk and everything. And he tells her about his wife. And because he told her all about the baby and he was supposed to be on leave, and she was like, why are you not still on leave? So he told her all about Evan and the wife. And then she looked at his hand when he was signing some papers, and she said, you're married? She said, I'm sorry, when you said something about the baby, you didn't mention a wife. And he said, it's complicated. But anyways, here comes Rafe, and he said, y'all should be partners. And they said, well, we just met. And he said, yeah, but y'all already got chemistry and all that. And Sean was like, well, I'm game. And she was like, I'm game too. So they're going to be partners, y'all. So then we see Gabby calls Ava, and she tells her, what you got going on? She said, girl, this man put me in the room where Abigail was murdered. She said, well, you could always get a room at the Salem Inn or whatever. And she said, nah, I'm gonna stay right here. This is a family. He like EJ said, this is about family. And she said, well, Ava, you're not really family. Like, you ain't married Jake for real. And Ava said, oh, is this where you try to put the screws to me or something? I said, Gabby, what you think was gonna happen with Ava? It ain't gonna happen because she's a loose cannon. And so she says, what about my job in the shareholder seat? And she said, I can't promise you a shareholder seat. We can get you a job or whatever. She said, well, you better give me a job that I want. Oh, and that was it with them, y'all. So anyways, Rafe comes over and sees Gabby, and Shen is leaving. So he tells Shen, you should come over and visit me and my wife for dinner or sometime. And she was like, yeah, cool. Because Rafe told Gabby, we ain't seen you since you've been shacking up with Lee and everything. And she was like, I'm not shacking up. And he said, do you love him or anything? And she said, no. She didn't say no, but that's what I heard, because she said, I don't want to be hurt again. And then she just using Lee to pass time. Honestly, she had the love of her life. He's gone, and that's it for her. So she thinks. But anyways, we see Jada, Sean, and Belle, because Jada and Sean are talking about everything that went on in his personal life. And then here come Belle, and she says, he introduces Belle, this is my wife. It was awkward because he didn't know how to introduce her. Belle, you should have told him. And then we see Rolf is like, here's somebody coming. He said, Krista, leave me alone. I told you I'm working. And Lee says, it's not Krista. I knew it. I knew it. I knew something was up with Lee because I was like, nobody's this good and nice and deal with all that. And so this, because I said that Lee was gonna have an issue because if we believe the spoilers are saying that Lee's gonna tell Rolf, "Don't you wake him up yet. I need to solidify everything with Gabby and Demira, and then you can wake him up." So I don't know, but I don't trust Lee. But all right. That was Days of Our Lives today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for a new edition of What Happened on the Soaps, Days of Our Lives. Thank you for watching. Bye.